What is up, everybody? It's me, Trigger Happy Gamer, and my voice is kind of coming back. I decided I kind of want to make a comic. I don't know where I'm going to post it, but I decided I was going to show you how I think when I am creating a character, just a little bit of insight. So, this character, a commentor actually came up with her name. Her name's Yvonne. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Yvonne. I just like how it looked. It's really good. I can't remember the commenter's name off the top of my head, but it's on screen right now. So, you know, what ifs. What I wanted in this character was to portray a more mature, calm, like, sassy woman. She's got two sides to her gloves, so I portrayed that by just flipping the hand around, just flipping it horizontally, and so that it's got like the back of the hand, the front of the hand, you know. So I didn't put shoes on any of my characters when I'm making refs for some reason, and I was trying to figure out what style I wanted to use for the comic, because, you know, I kind of draw like a crazy person, and I draw whatever I want. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. If you didn't notice, I am using a new computer program. This one is called Krita, Krita. I'm not sponsored. It went from using GIMP to now using Krita. It's got the same properties, but I just like the color selector more, and some of the tools are cooler to use. I like some of the special effects you've got on here. Again, not sponsored. So with this character, I knew I wanted to give her the, you know, you've never seen like a super chubby, cute little girl and been like, oh, she's a menace, like she's gonna kill me in my sleep. No, you see a friend. Rounder characters tend to be seen as friends. She's extremely pear-shaped. I like body exaggeration because I'm more of a cartoonist, I like to think, but you know, I started with anime, and anime is kind of the style I'm stuck with. I'm not stuck with it, I'm used to drawing it that way. So, I wanted to give her a different skin tone to her foster sister, whose name is Centennial. I came up with that name. Just because I wanted to give them more of a night and day kind of look. And yes, I copied it. It took me a really long time to get used to Krita. I'm still not completely used to it. Still kind of struggling with the new program, but you know what, whatever. So I gave her long curly red hair because I think it just kind of fit her. Red in color coding stands for passion, basically. It's mostly about, you know, passion and fiery, you know, or fiery passion and whatever. And, well, Yvonne is that's just kind of who she is as a character. She's very passionate about her family and what she likes, and she'll let you know. And when designing characters, me and Ninnerfae, I know you haven't seen her in a while, have done this thing called the 20 questions game. She's written a book. We're in the editing process right now of her book, but what happened was we were just taking quizzes on, you know, random websites about like what would be like as our characters, and we started playing 20 questions but with our characters. So I'm the master of this game. You can ask anybody. You can ask anyone. I'm the master of my own game. I actually know what one of my character's favorite scented candles smell is. Like, that's how far you go into it, and I really suggest doing it. It's just silly stuff like, what would happen if so-and-so's boyfriend got stuck in a tree? What would they do if, or what's their thought about ovens? Like, that was a question I got. Also, I colored in hair like an idiot. And it helps a lot. I like stories before I do designs, because really, do we want a character design over, it's kind of a bit of both for some. I like having a clear-cut story before I have a design. It just helps me more. If it's different for you, good for you. Everybody's different, So, with her, I think I really like her dress. I don't know why. At first, it's a lot different in her concept idea. So, I can tell you that. She wears cat socks and cat gloves to hide her hands, because she is a mutant. And it's for her own good. Sorry, I'm still sick. I'm gonna sick. But, I like incorporating ideas throughout a character. So, like, if I give him cat gloves, I gotta kind of fit the theme everywhere else. She has a cat she named Pinky, and I think that's adorable. Sorry. And her sister Centennial, her foster sister, but they're pretty much sisters at this point, has a cat named Sweet Pea, who is a black American curl, and Pinky is a Sphinx. So Pinky is a hairless cat. I kind of wanted to portray more of a confidence with Yvonne. She doesn't look like, the way she holds herself in pictures that I draw of her, she's usually calm and collected, and then sometimes she's embarrassed, and then other times she's sassy. But she's just kind of that character that you wouldn't expect to feel let down if someone were to tell them that they were ugly and, fat or whatever. I guess in some ways, this character is something that I had strived for an entire school year. And no, her hands are not a different color. She's wearing leather gloves. She wears gloves. I'm not telling her mutation, because that is a secret for me to know and you to find out. So I realized that I had switched up the eyes and hair color like a dingus. A lot of people might notice that I take characters from real life, like ideas from real life, and that's just because I think it's easier to pull things that I know. Like, I know a person, I know a person who was abusive. I know a person who was toxic. I know a person who is basically a pedophile. Could be diagnosed with pedophilia if the definition on Google is correct. And I know, I knew a crazy guy who never remembered my name. May he rest in peace. He was like the best neighbor ever. And he was in a gang when he was younger and did drugs, and then now he, then at the end of the life, he was a easy church-going man. But things like that, you can't fake real experiences. And saying, like, you see this a lot, especially in things like creepypasta, where, like, let's say, Clockwork. They handled her backstory very poorly to gain sympathy points. But with, my characters, you're not going to see that. You may not see, like, I've never been adopted. I know several adopted children. I know several people who went into the foster home. I've met several people who have had different things happen to them. I know my family's kind of messed up in their own special way, but you know what? Whatever. I like to have experiences that make sense. I love well-rounded characters. thoughts swirl in my head 100% of the time for more characters, and I just can't help but keep going. And I feel like I want to do a lot with that, but I can't always have, I can't have 2,370 something OCs. I don't know, that was a random number. I just pulled that from my head. With creating a character, though, I like to pull from real life experiences or examples. I'm a very curious person, and I tend to ask a lot of questions, and it ends up helping me in the long run understand things better than most people. Like, I know, some stuff that I probably shouldn't know, but, it helps you understand situations more, and you can create better characters that way. I think the most important thing about creating a character is doing research, and the character will be more well-rounded, interesting, and very just fun. Excuse me. I think what's very important is to pull from real life and make the character simple. Colors, complicated characters kind of burn my eyes. And, some of them are just silly. There's this one that I've seen called Complicated that's just the most complicated design you'll ever see. But, I pull stuff from real life because I can't, let's say I was like, I'm just gonna add something that, like, homophobia in a story. I'm gonna, do it, like, this is a bad example. Again, Clockwork. I'm gonna put rape in a story. I've never been raped. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be sexually assaulted by my brother, And it just doesn't make sense in a place of a story. So basically what I'm saying is that when you're creating a story, you should probably pull from real life. If it's something super sensitive, unless you know what you're talking about, I wouldn't put it in, But with character design, as in, like, designs, I just keep it simple. I keep it sweet and to the point because, especially if you're doing something like a comic, because then you're going to have to draw it over and over and over again. And who wants to draw the most complicated OC over and over and over and over again? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully my voice didn't kill anyone. I'll see you next time. Bye.